How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, not giving you guys your weekly forecast, talking about Uranus going into Taurus. So before I even begin into that, I'm going to do a two-part video about this. You know, there's a reason why I'm kind of waiting to the last second to post this and to even do this video. I was really kind of just thinking and, you know, digesting what Uranus and Aries was like, and really looking at what Uranus and Taurus is going to bring, and I didn't want to, you know, jump the gun. I wanted to feel really comfortable about going into this because there's a lot to talk about. This is a huge global change that we're going to be going through. However, I did want to mention the fact that I am going to make this a two-part video where because I mean, the only reason why is because Uranus is going to go retrograde and go back into Aries, so we're not really done with Uranus going into with Uranus and Aries, and we still have a lot to kind of, I want to say clean. I wouldn't say clean up because Uranus doesn't like to clean up anything. We still have things to come back to with Uranus and Aries before we fully dive into Uranus and Taurus, which is going to be later on in March of 2019. So I did want to mention that I have two videos for this. This video is really going to be about the essence of what this is going to bring. This is going to be more about how we can really use this, what this is really going to look like, and all of that kind of good stuff. So before I even begin as well, thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my YouTube, following me on Twitter at whitelightcam, liking my Facebook at White Light Astrology, my YouTube White Light Astrology, and checking out my website at White Light Astrology. Also, if you are a patron on my Patreon, I thank you even more, and I will be I don't even know what I want to say about that, but yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Uranus and Taurus. So, little fun, I shouldn't say fun facts, a little bit of the logistics. May 15th, 8:18 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Uranus enters Taurus. That's going to be conjunct Mercury. I think Mercury's at like 3 or 4 degrees Taurus. It is going to be squaring Mars, and it's going to be sextiling Venus. Now, what's important about this Uranus transit is that it is on a new moon in Taurus. Mercury just got done conjuncting Uranus as well. And there's a lot to be said just about that right there. Because when we have Mercury conjunct Uranus, that's usually some type of mental breakthrough, some clarity, some understanding, maybe your word's a little bit more volatile than usual, and things like that. But with the moon being right on top of Mercury, right on top of Uranus, as Uranus basically goes into Taurus, then basically like Mars goes into Aquarius right after, there's like a whole lot of stuff going on in like just a couple hours. And so with the moon going from Aries into Taurus, we're going from that sense of action, that sense of self, that sense of identity, that sense of power, that sense of movement, into something that's more stable, something that's more secure. With the moon, we're talking about our emotions. We're talking about how we actually feel. The moon just lights up what we don't see. That's why, you know, at nighttime when you see the full moon, it lights up all the stuff that's in the dark that we normally wouldn't be able to see. It's a false light, but it is a luminary. With that being said, as the moon has an emphasis on this Aries energy, and we're going towards this new moon, it's kind of closing out that Aries energy. We're starting to slowly go, okay, what did we learn through this Uranus and Aries transit? What did we break through? What did Uranus stir up? What did Uranus, you know, bring with us as far as that super conscious energy? And what did Uranus take away from us? What did Uranus, I like to use that word, shake up. What did Uranus, you know, kind of like jolt you with like electric, imagine like an electric jolt. Like that's Uranus. And as the moon starts to slowly dwindle down into Aries and conjuncts Uranus for that one last time, until of course Uranus goes back into Aries, we kind of get a sense of closure, a sense of inspiration, a sense of one last mental breakthrough, because Mercury is going to conjunct Uranus for the last time in Aries for another 84-ish years, something like that. So with that being said, as Mercury conjuncts Uranus, as the moon conjuncts Uranus, then they both go into Taurus. What did we learn? What did we achieve? What did we understand? How did we grow stronger from this? Uranus and Aries, I mean, like we're talking about Uranus being that breakthrough planet. Uranus is all about the super conscious, the breakthroughs, the understanding, the genius, innovation, creativity, collectivity. It rules Aquarius, where we're talking about bringing people together, taking a different perspective on things. And so with Uranus being in Aries of the self, of the individual, what did the group collective, you know, help inspire you with? Did that bring you up? Did it bring you down? Did you grow stronger with who you are and how you could show up in a bigger, broader sense of not only community, but your own genius and things like that? So with the moon and Mercury both going into Taurus, where we get to really understand what we really value. We get to emotionally apply ourselves. I mean, this is also a new moon in Taurus, by the way. And with this new moon being in Taurus, we're starting to really set the intentions towards what do we value. Now, with that being said, Uranus is going to go into Taurus right after that, like during the new moon. And that's really important because with the moon going into Taurus, where we're wanting to set these intentions of stability, of being grounded, of what we value, what works, things like that, Uranus is going to shake it up. And this isn't a bad thing. Uranus is all about ingenuity. Uranus is all about breakthroughs and liberation. If you've ever read the book, Prometheus the Awakener by Richard Tarnas, he brings up a really great point that Uranus is really a great depiction of what Prometheus, the Greek mythological, god, what he really represents is really instilled into Uranus. He took the flame from Zeus and gave it to the people. He liberated the people from Zeus's power, and he fought all the gods. He had all these huge issues, but that's a whole nother story for another day. You should read that book if you want to learn more about Uranus. However, with that being said, Uranus is that spark. It's the anarchy. It's the rebellion. It's that idea. It's not an idea like a Mercury idea where you have to think about it and digest it and communicate it. Uranus is a spark. Uranus is something that may have came out of nowhere for you, may have just came, through maybe not a dream, that's more of a Neptune thing, but just a sudden realization. And with that going into Taurus, where, Uranus is in detriment in Taurus, where it is uncomfortable because Uranus is all about breakthroughs and movement and explosions and all these exciting things, while Taurus is really grounded. Taurus is all about being fixed in the ground. It's all about what do we have, what is secure, what are we not moving. And with Uranus going in there, it's going to look a couple different ways. If you're resistant to this energy, don't be surprised when your ground's moving, when things are shaking. And the biggest thing I want to hit with this is our values. When we talk about Taurus, we are talking about money. We are talking about food. We are talking about the earth. We are talking about being grounded. What makes us feel comfortable? What makes us feel together? What makes us, what tools do we have? What are our possessions? What do we own? And with Uranus going into here, this isn't just a time where, your ground is just going to, shake and explode where, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but right now, today's the 10th, and for the past week, Uranus has we got 5 more days till Uranus is Taurus. For the past week, we've had earthquakes on the San Andreas Fault, we've had volcano explosions in Hawaii, and we've had multiple states and multiple countries ban certain plastic items for environmental change. That is when after I saw that, I was just like, all right, now I know how to talk about with this Uranus going into Taurus, because at first I was a little afraid. Uranus is in detriment, it's in Taurus, what are we gonna see? No one's really, there's been a few people that they're super old that have been alive for it. I'm young, I haven't seen this before. My Uranus is in Aquarius, so I'm like, try to constrict and, reserve and limit, Uranus's energy kind of scares me. But after seeing that, it's exciting. And Uranus is all about excitement. Uranus is, when you get that idea, that creativity, that spark, that's Uranus. And as it goes into Taurus, we are talking about how can we change our value? What do we really value? What is really going to ground us and secure us? And not in this false sense of security that Taurus can offer, but a higher sense of security, a higher sense of value. Something that's more collectively, I don't want to say better, but that offers growth. It's kind of like, re-soiling the ground. That's what I feel like Uranus and Taurus is really going to be like. And as Uranus goes into this place, especially during this new moon, while Mercury goes into Taurus and all that being said, it's a really big deal to set some new intentions and to really release whatever you've been holding on to. Because not to mention, we are talking about Taurus. Taurus likes to hold things. Taurus likes to hoard things. Taurus has possessions. Taurus has security. Taurus wants to feel comfortable. And Jupiter is in Scorpio, opposing it, where Scorpio, although it likes to hold on, challenges Taurus to let go. And as we have this new moon, what are we holding on to that we've valued, that's given us security, but just doesn't work anymore? We have to find a creative outlet, something that's more ingenuitive, something that's more free thinking, something that's more, I hate to use this word, but new age. Something that is more, I think I already said innovating. I'm kind of struggling with descriptors for this, because with Uranus going into here, it's going to be like, we're going to wake up and just kind of be like, well, things are a little bit different. we're going into a new age where what we really value is that's what's going to trigger that super conscious, tapped in, tuned in, turned on stuff to Uranus. As Uranus goes into Taurus, what are you fixated on? What are you grounded in? And how can you get creative and ingenuitive about that? And what can you really do in order to ground yourself and give yourself that sense of security and stability through that Uranus energy? What I mean by that is with Uranus, we're talking about creativity, talking about ingenuity, talking about, extreme ups and downs, explosions, rebellion, anarchy, all of these type of things. But with Taurus, we're talking about being grounded, being fixated and stuff like that. And if we're going to have this planet Uranus going into Taurus where, in a sense we can kind of look at it as the ground's moving, things are shaking up, we're going to feel a little bit insecure. What's the best way to go about that? If the ground is shaking, the ground's moving, are you going to stay in the place that you want to? Probably not. I make California references all day long. And in California, we get a ton of earthquakes. Now, in an earthquake, are you going to sit still? Probably not. If there is an earthquake, though, you're probably going to find a safer ground, something that works a little better just for that moment. And it may just work for that moment. Again, this is an analogy for Uranus and Taurus. Wherever you move yourself, it may just work for that moment, but that's what's important. That's what's going to give you that new perspective. That's what's going to make you feel safer and more secure and give you the ability to create and to have more, I don't want to say more possessions, but to possess more of what is going to ground you, to possess more of what you value. I mean, if we're going to go back to the earthquake analogy, we're talking about your life, we're talking about your, actual value, your material possessions. If you live in California, it's like if you got a nice tall carrier or something like that, and it's got all this nice fine china in it, well, if it's not hooked onto the wall, it's probably gonna fall over and everything's gonna get lost. But if you hook it onto the wall, or maybe if you just kind of change how that really works, maybe you're not gonna have all that loss. If you just switch your positioning, find yourself a little bit more secure, and I want to say find a way to be more secure on the internal level, on the super conscious level, on the free thinking level, on the you know that you know that you know. Because Uranus and Taurus, we're going to be jumping around. There's no safe ground. It's kind of like if you're a kid and you're playing tag with your friends. There's no home base. There's no we could be here and we're safe. No. We have to get out of our comfort zones. But in order to get out of our comfort zones, if you guys really want to do this and you really want to use this for your advantage, get out of your comfort zone, but find what's going to give you security on a new and creative level. What's going to really benefit you? What's going to give you real grounding? Because it's kind of like, if you're a farmer, you can have regular dirt and you could plant plants in it. And I mean, it'll work for the most part. But if you really enrich that soil with nutrients and, you plow the dirt really well and you make sure it's all watered and fed, that dirt, that ground is going to grow better crops. And this is that time to really go, what ground am I sitting on? Yes, it works, it serves a purpose, but maybe this isn't what you want to be growing your flowers or your plants in anymore. And it's time to put in that new, fresh, creative idea of what can I really ground myself on? What do I need to, how do I need to tend to the ground? How can I be creative? How can I be, I guess the best way to look at it is how can you really get out of your comfort zone in order to do something different and get different results? Because once Taurus sees results, Taurus is like, yep, I will get out of my comfort zone and I will change. But here's the thing. Taurus, same thing with Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, they're all controllers. Meaning you can't get them to do anything unless it's their idea. And that's the trick with this. You can't, I can't sit here and tell you, get out of your comfort zone, you gotta have to get creative and move on and blah, 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 blah. No. I can tell you that stuff all day long, but you'll never make that decision unless you make it for yourself. And that's what's really, really important with Taurus. Because otherwise, if everyone's going to be, this is Uranus. We're talking about the super conscious energy. We're talking about the world here. Uranus is one of my favorite planets to look at when it comes to mundane astrology and seeing just how the world reacts to things. If you want to get out of your comfort zone and you want to make things work, you want to find more stability, you want to find more security, it's up to you to make that decision for yourself. But you have to be the one that's creative. You have to be the one that's willing to do something different. You have to be the one willing to jump from this ledge to the other ledge. It's kind of like if you've ever watched parkour and you see those crazy Russian kids jump from one building to the other building. It's super scary, but then it's only a 5-foot leap. It's really not that big of a deal. And they, you know, this is a little bit different video for me. I'm a little bit more faster, a little bit more, you know, concise and clear, but this is just Uranus and Taurus is just going to be crazy. And I just want, I don't want to say I want to warn you guys, but I really want to inspire your own thinking. I want you to be inspired after this video to get out of your comfort zone by your own choice and to do something that's different. Like, for example, for me, I don't have health issues, but I do have metabolism issues in eating. Like, I have problems with eating. Like, everything I eat, it always messed me up. I couldn't do it. It was just like, everything I ate just made me feel like crap. And it was like 5-6 days ago, I was just like, well, like, I want to go vegetarian. I want to do it. Like, it's not that I didn't want to eat meat, it's that I wanted to feel better. I didn't say, I don't want to eat meat, I don't want to not feel, you know, I don't want to be unhealthy, that kind of negative stuff. I just said, I want to be healthy, I want to be vegetarian. I want to get out of my comfort zone and do something different because I'm really starting to value my body, and I'm really starting to value what my body gives me. Because again, the body, we're talking about Taurus, we're talking about being grounded, we're talking about our food here too, which, I mean, yeah, I went vegetarian for Uranus and Taurus. I'm an astrologer, what can you say? However, make the idea yours. People are going to tell you all day long what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and X, Y, and Z. But if you really want to use this Uranus transit to your advantage, make it your idea to get out of your comfort zone. Make it your idea to value something new. Value something else. Just like, you know, if you were born in the 30s and you're still relying on your, you know, social security, I know this is probably a weird example, that might not work. But if you're investing or maybe even doing something like cryptocurrency, maybe that's going to work. Maybe it's time to get out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's time to do something different in order to bring about the things that you value even more. Because again, this is Uranus. Uranus is like the saturator, in my opinion. Uranus doesn't just make things, you know, extreme. Uranus saturates colors. And with Uranus going into Taurus, when we get onto that higher sense of value, when we get onto that higher, more creative, more ingenuitive, more free thinking, more individual experience of what we value, what we find to give us security, what we're eating, what our possessions are, what we possess within ourselves as far as our own tools and how we go about our own lives, when we step onto that higher plane, all of those things get saturated more. So if you think you know Taurus energy, where it's like, yeah, wine and dine and Netflix and chill, that's fun, but experience that at a higher octave. Experience that at a higher frequency, and that's what Uranus is bringing. Yes, Uranus is in detriment, but we got Jupiter in Scorpio, and there's going to be a whole new moon in Taurus. We have the ability to really set some new intentions and to really go, maybe I am thinking about things a little bit differently. Maybe it is time for me to start valuing something new, valuing something that's forward thinking, that's more ingenuitive, more creative with the future. Because that's Uranus. Uranus is the future. Uranus, Saturn, whatever. There's literally no other planet symbolizes the future more, in my opinion, than Uranus. Maybe Saturn. But Uranus is really about free thinking, being creative, coming up with ideas. It's that spark of inspiration. I like using the word breakthrough with Uranus, because when you have a breakthrough moment, it's like a benchmark. It's like one of those times that you'll never forget. That it's like one of those times that you'll never forget. It's like a benchmark. It's kind of like, you know, what's it called? Like I live here in Vegas. We have the Golden Knights, and it's like, God, it's been like a crazy season because it was like, man, no one wanted us. Everyone thought we were gonna suck. Everyone was hating us. We got all these third string players, but then all of a sudden, you know, we won like our first 8 or 9 games, and now we're going to the Western Conference. Like, those are benchmarks. For this first team, this team's first year, they have had multiple benchmarks getting to where they're going to be. And if they go to the Stanley Cup and stuff like that, like, that's an insane deal. That's that breakthrough. That's that Uranus energy of like, wow, like, that's that benchmark. That's how, and you know, bringing it back to the Uranus and Taurus stuff. What are you willing to do? What are you really valuing? And why are you afraid to take the next step? This is a new moon. Like, if Uranus was going into Taurus or any other sign during any other lunation phase, whatever. But this is a new moon while Uranus goes into here. So this is going to be, don't get me wrong, this isn't going to be the nice, peaceful new moon in Taurus that we're so used to, But this is that moment where we get to go, I understand what I value now. I'm valuing something different, and it's time for me to get out of my comfort zone and actually go and do it. And I feel like that's what Uranus and Taurus is really going to be about on that more individual level. So a little bit more about Uranus. It will go retrograde on August 8th. It'll be right before Mars goes direct. Yeah, it'll be right before Mars goes direct, right after the eclipses. It will go retrograde on August 8th at 2 degrees and 33 minutes. It will go back into Aries on November 7th of 2018. It will go direct on January 7th of 2019 at 28 degrees Aries. And then it will go back into Taurus on March 6, 2019 at 12:29 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when Uranus will go back into Taurus. So from now until November, this is a big opportunity to get out of our comfort zones, to really establish some type of new security with how we really think and what is creativity and all that kind of good stuff. But the thing is this isn't the end. Like, this is merely just a taste. It's a preview for a movie, because Uranus still has to go back to Aries, where we have to still, it's going to shake up our own individuality and our sense of self, and we got to realize who we are again in order to really put that value in ourselves, in order to make those decisions and take action on that new Uranus and Taurus stuff. So again, this is just a taste. This is a test drive of Uranus and Taurus. So for the next couple months, it's May till November, so that's 6 months. For the next 6 months, take this test drive. But don't just, overthink about how much it's going to cost and, dealing with the insurance and, getting all the paperwork together to buy the car. Just experience driving the car. And ask yourself, how much do you like it? Maybe it's not the right car for you. Maybe it's time to go look at another car. Maybe you thought you valued it, but maybe you're starting to value something else that you kind of realize while you test drive this car. But test drive the car. Don't worry about the payment. Don't worry about the credit score. All of the stuff that comes with buying a car. Just focus on the enjoying the ride that you're in. And you don't have to make this decision now, because Uranus is still going to go through like the last 2 degrees of Aries. We still have a lot of identity stuff to go through. But test drive this new car. See what grounds you. See a new perspective and a new way of thinking when it comes to what security looks like, what safety and comfort and control looks like. I hate how much this sounds like a total car sell. I used to be a car salesman, but as Uranus goes into Taurus, feel free to value something new. Feel free to experience Uranus in that sense of comfort, in that sense of luxury, in that sense of food, in that sense of being grounded, in that sense of what we value. Like, what do you really value? Do you value the past? Do you value the moment? Or do you value the future? And I think that's going to be really important, a really important theme as Uranus goes through Taurus is, are we valuing the future? And so that's what I got for you guys. I had some more stuff I wanted to talk about, but I am going to wait until March to talk about this stuff. Well, probably before March, only because once Uranus kicks fully into Taurus, that's when we're going to see it. I mean, then it's done. Then we don't have Uranus going back into Aries, but Uranus is going to go into Aries. We still have things to understand about ourselves. We still have self-identity things to experience and go through. But as Uranus goes into Taurus for this next 6 months, guys, take the test drive. Feel this energy. This has been so beautiful lately, especially like today's the moon's in Pisces and stuff like that. However, I will be making another video. That's when I'm going to be talking about like people that have Uranus and Taurus, what it's going to be looking like, through specific houses and, the bigger major aspects that it's going to be making. But I didn't want to do that right now. It just didn't seem right. I mean, Mars is about to enter shadow and then Mars is going to enter retrograde. I'm like, you know what? Let's just give a little preview of Uranus and Taurus and let's just feel it out. And then once we come back into March, once Uranus fully steps into Taurus and, puts on the seatbelt, that's when things are going to be a little bit more serious with it. But that's what I got for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching all my videos. I really hope that this helps you guys with moving on in your day-to-day lives and taking initiative and taking action on something new, getting out of your comfort zone, and really just progressing yourself and doing what it takes to live the life of personal development and, doing what it takes for every single day to be one step closer to your goal than where you are right now. So thank you guys for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, follow me on Twitter. If you're a patron, it is so hard to say both those words. If you're a patron on my Patreon, thank you guys so much for being on there. I have a new moon in Taurus video coming up for that, probably here tomorrow for that. So if you guys want to go over there, help donate, support me, support my videos, and support yourselves as well, I would super appreciate it. Check out my website at whitelightastrology.com. I'm going to be doing a discount on readings here within the next week, just to get ready for UAC, because I got to go to UAC, got to go to Chicago, can't miss it at all, and definitely need some support with that. So I'm going to offer a pretty nice discount for you guys to book some readings if you guys are interested. So keep on the lookout for that. And really, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos and tuning in, and I will be seeing you guys very soon.